Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live training of eIMMIGRATION. My name is Vanessa Vargas. On behalf of Cerenade, I want to thank you for joining us today. Good morning. Um, so today's topic is maximize your investment and use eIMMIGRATION to its full potential. Thank you so much for taking the time. I am proud of you because it does require time to, you know, learn something, anything. And so we're here to help you. Before I start, I thought of maybe giving you guys a glance. I'm actually on Serenade's website. If you look at the pricing plans, everything on the left is included. You probably haven't seen this in a while, or you're a new user, but you're not the one who purchased the system. So I just want you to know that even if you are in the basic plan A, you have a lot of features that you're probably not using. So we're going to talk about not everything today, but I just want you to explore when you go to our website and you look at the standard features and maybe some of the optional modules that we offer that you didn't know that we have. Anyway, so today, again, we're going to show you how to maximize your investment. You probably have used the system for a long time, or you're new and you're here to learn anything possible, right? We do have a chat where you can message me. Also know that this is being recorded and we do keep all these videos available in our YouTube channel. If you haven't done it yet, go to youtube.com, search for Cerenade Academy, and subscribe to the channel so that you can learn about new features that we have or watch the past trainings that we do on Fridays. Okay, we have a lot of resources and material, and this is what I always recommend to really maximize your investment, to ask questions, watch the videos, or simply just reach out to us, give us a call so we can assist you with any concerns that you have. All right, so this is what we're going to learn today. Like I said, e-immigration is not just for forms. In fact, even though the name of the system is e-immigration, you can customize it for non-immigration cases. We have nonprofit organizations that use our system for social services. We have clients that are not attorneys necessarily, but they handle, translations or notary services, so you can customize them. Oh, perfect. Yes, I see someone's testing the chat. It works. And I'm paying attention. All right, so today we're going to show you how to properly create cases and also reminders so that you can organize yourself and don't miss any deadlines. Also, if you have a staff or even if you are a solo practitioner, how to be productive and efficient. We have a feature called process steps. We'll show you how to do that as well as the activities. And I always praise and suggest and recommend to use custom reports because the custom reports optional module allows you to create any report and schedule it so you can share with your staff. We'll talk about that. Or even again, if you're a solo practitioner, you can receive an email with information regarding your practice, how many cases, billing information, deadlines, and more. And we also have a tickler, which is a general dashboard. You can customize the default startup page option. I suggest that you choose the tickler, but you can choose whatever works for you. I'm also going to show you how to customize the client overview and talk to you about the case overview. Really quick, I'm going to show you what's included for today's session. We're going to talk about the alternate view so that you can save time and work more efficiently. Sometimes the clients are not tech savvy, so you can't really expect them to complete a questionnaire online. So you can use the alternate view. And once you gather the data from the intake forms or you type it yourself, well, that information can auto-populate the forms. So we're going to talk about the forms as well. And lastly, we want you to grow your practice, not your to-do list. So if you use the letter templates, you can probably reach out to prospects or inform your clients for a better, process, just like a more efficient, smoothly timeline, right, of the case. And once you gather all the documents with like all the forms, the evidence, and you have your cover letters, again, I'll show you the letter template so that they can auto-populate information from the database. Well, then that's when you put together the package, and it's called document assembly, where we help you with the table of contents and all the number of pages. And as always, we will have a page with links called Did You Know? Also, I'm going to share with you the resources and support. And lastly, a Q&A session, some of the questions that you guys already sent prior to this training. And lastly, I'm going to share with you the upcoming training classes for March. I can't believe it. It's already March, almost. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to log in into the caseworker portal. And like I said, the first thing that I want to show you is the proper way of creating a case. Usually, when you create a contact, that's what we recommend, that you create a contact first and then create the case. When you create a contact, this prospect status can help you differentiate your prospective leads versus actual active clients. So make sure that you use the status to differentiate prospects versus active clients. And of course, if it's a business client, you select the type or an individual and create their contact. When you create a contact, and let me access one. When you create a contact, you want to enter as much information as possible. Let me click on the link. By the way, we have a shortcut called load more data, which saves you time because you can access quick links. Now remember, and I always like to say this, a quick disclosure, or disclaimer, what's the word? We are recording today's training, so don't try to take notes as crazy, because it happens to me when I'm trying to take notes and then I miss. So this is recorded. You can watch the video. You can always contact us. And also, you have the user's guide. And one thing that you should know is that this PowerPoint presentation that I'm sharing with you today has the links associated to what I'm covering. So if you click on the go to meeting menu or go to webinar menu, it says handouts. The handouts, you can download this PowerPoint presentation. So you can always click on the links. All right, let me go back. So like I said, once you create the contact profile, which looks like this, you want to enter as much information as possible, right? And the second step would be to link the members. Members are, if it's an employment-based case, well, then you probably have the business contact created. And when you click on members, we refer to them like the signatories, right? The employees or any other contact, like a consulting attorney, for example. So you can link them, or like the HR manager, you link them to the business because later you might need to give them access for uploading a document or reviewing a form or running a report, etc. So we recommend that you link them. In this case, an individual contact, I have the members such as the children or parents, spouse, a joint sponsor. So you want to link them as well, because eventually when you work on the forms, their data will transfer as well. We will have a training next month called Tips and Tricks. So we'll show you a couple of tricks so that you can save time, such as copying information from one contact to the other. But today, again, I'm going to try to show you other areas of the system so you can maximize your investment. Well, make sure that you, after create the contact and link the members, then you create the case. When you click on cases on the right-hand side, you're going to see the create case button. So you're going to use the case wizard to create the case. All these drop-down menus can be customized. If you haven't done it, you have to go to the administrator portal and customize them. You can have more than one location or branch. And all of these processes, you can also customize them. So if you haven't done it and you're, wasting time scrolling through the list, finding the process that you need. So maybe I need to move this E2 investor all the way up so I can rearrange this list. And then that way I can just click and go. Here's my information as the attorney that will transfer to the forms. I can change that caseworker on a case-by-case basis. And then the role. So my client, Valeria Smith, she's a petitioner, and her husband is the alien. Instead of beneficiary, I'm going to suggest that you select alien because the forms are expecting that role, and it's just faster. And the rest of the members, I left them blank. And then we see the forms checklist. Again, this is fully customizable. You can always add or remove forms on a case-by-case basis. By the way, if you are not yet subscribed to e-filing, I suggest that you take a look because we recently enhanced that feature where you can import data from the CBP website. You need to be subscribed to e-filing. Just a quick commercial. All right, so I created the case, and see on the top left, it shows that I was at the home screen. I went to cases and I'm at the forms tab. So when you create a case, you have access to the forms. And from here, you can always click on the client's name and it's going to open another tab where you can have both the contact profile and the case profile. Let me know if you have any questions about how to properly create a case. Also know that if you go to the create button and you select case, you still have to go through this case wizard. You're going to select the department, select the process, select the category, everything. I mean, they're not mandatory fields, but it's suggested. And when you get to this part, the case parties, that's where you need to either search for the contact or create a new one. So that would be the only difference if you start that route. All right, so let's talk about reminders. The reminders, first of all, I suggest that you customize the categories of reminders, and that's something that you have to do from the administrative portal. So if you click on settings, you're gonna see administrative tools. Actually, I'm gonna right click on it and open in a new tab. Let me put it over here. So this is the administrative portal. Once you access the admin portal, click on types, and here they are, case or client reminder types. I suggest that you add your own categories. In fact, you can insert, delete, edit, and rearrange them. You can even drag and drop. So when you have a specific category, like consultation or court date, instead of just saying, oh, I have a task or I have a deadline, you want to be super specific. Check with client about biometrics appointment details, because that way when you get the reminder, you know exactly what that task or reminder is about. So anyways, when you go to the contact profile and you click on reminders and then reminders again, you'll see the add reminder button. Let me show only a few. Okay. So here's where I add the reminder, and this is a category that I was just showing you that you can customize so you can have exactly the, the task or the type. I'll say that we need to check with client about the biometrics appointment details and that we need to do next Friday, March 3rd. Who's responsible for the appointment? Let's say it's, I'll say Simon. And when do we have to send him a reminder? Maybe via email, via text message, or both? And I want the reminder to go out maybe 2 days before at 8 a.m. So if I want to CC the client, I'll just click on these three dots and the client can be copied in that email. Here we see the clients, and as long as they are linked, we see their name and email address. So I'll just select the client, click done, and then of course enter the reminder, the body of the message. When they get that email or text message 2 days before at 8 a.m., they know exactly that this is regarding the matrix appointment details. Every time that you create a reminder, you can track it in the tickler, which we're gonna talk about. But before I go there, I will play a video that will show you how to use the process steps and activities. And you can message me while you watch the video if you have any questions. Okay, you can message me through the chat. You might need to adjust the volume of your computer.
Hello, and welcome to our eIMMIGRATION video. In this video, we will show you how to use a new feature called Activities. With Activities, you can trigger a set of actions when working with process steps or to the case profile itself. The activities automate functions that you typically would do working on a case. Let us review the different things you can do. From within the caseworker portal, we will go into the case profile. Once inside the case profile, you will notice a new tab titled Activities, located on the bottom right. Let us click on it. From here, we will click on Add Activity. A pop-up will appear asking you to set the activity. In other words, what would you like eIMMIGRATION to do? The first thing we want to do is select the initial action that will prompt a reaction by the system. We will see the On drop-down menu with two options, Case Closed and Case Archived. We will select one of them. Then we will select the Do drop-down menu and see Add Case Comment, Add Expense, Send Email, or Send Questionnaire. By selecting the On and Do, once a case is closed, for example, it will prompt the system to do whatever was selected in the Do section, such as add a case comment. Or maybe you want to set an activity that emails a client when you archive a case. By setting activities, it automates actions when closing a case or archiving a case. Need a specific message to be logged? Select Add Case Comment and proceed to put the message. Need to gather a set of expenses to bill your client? Proceed to add expenses. Need an email to be sent out? Select an email and have a message typed out. And finally, need to send questionnaires? Select questionnaires you want your client to receive. Once saved, you will see all your created activities. From here, you can always edit the activity, delete it, and you can even run the activity without having to actually close or archive the case. Also, once an activity is completed, you can always rerun the activity by clicking on the Rerun button, prompting the system to perform the activity. By adding all activities you'd like to see, when you close or archive a case, it will prompt a sequence of events created in this Activities section. Now, these activities not only appear here, but also appear on individual process steps. If we go into the process steps of a case profile, you will see a button titled Activities within each process step. When we click on it, you will see a similar pop-up box as we saw in the Activities tab previously. When selecting the On drop-down menu, you will see specific times pertaining to an individual process step. The options are when a process step has started, when a process step has been completed, when a process step reaches its target date, X days after start date, X days before target date, X days after target date, and X days after completed date. If you select anything starting with an X, it will require you to enter the number of days on the section titled Event Time Interval, meaning how many days before or after you like to see this activity take place. The Do section will have similar selections as we saw earlier in the activities. You can create a specific comment in the logs, add set expenses to be billed, compose an email that will be sent, or send questionnaires to a specific client. Once finalized creating, click on Save. You will see the same Edit button, Delete button, Run button, and when completed, a Rerun button will appear to make the system rerun the activity. You can create as many activities as you'd like per process step. Before we end this video, please note that you can make default process step activities in the Admin Tools page. This way, every time you select a case, your process step activities are already set. If in the Admin page, go to your case Processes. From here, select the case you want to apply a process step activity, and click on the Process Steps. Before you add activities, you may want to finalize and customize your process steps. Below in the descriptions is a link to a video showing you how to customize. Using what we previously learned on this video, we will go into a single process step and select the activity buttons. Just as before, we will click on the plus button, and we will be brought to create the process step activity. Once you have modified your process step activities here, anytime you select this case, the software will automatically list your process steps, as well as activities associated with them. As you can see, adding activities will automate functions and make tasks easier for you. This concludes our video on activities at the case level and in process steps.
So thank you for watching the video, and we highly suggest that you take advantage of that feature because it's going to help you either as a sole practitioner or as a supervisor to see what's going on with the cases in general. I'll show you right now how you can run a custom report and schedule it. And it could also be a report that shows you what's been done or completed, who did what, because you can see the caseworker associated to the task and the date of completion. But also if something is overdue, what task was it supposed to be completed, and also who is responsible. All right, so let's go really quick to the administrator portal. You have to be subscribed to custom reports if you want to be able to customize them. So just click on admin portal, report templates, and you're gonna see that we already have reports that you can utilize. They're the standard reports. So let's say that I want to run a report for cases by attorney or cases by form. So I can either use this report and schedule it, or I can customize it and maybe say, show me only active naturalization cases or cases by a specific person. All right, so you can customize your report. And when you create the report, all you need to do is, of course, give it a title. If it's internal, who should have access to the report? And if you want to create a report for the business client, maybe the HR manager needs to know any passports expiring this month, or any employees are compliant, or like anything in relation to the case, like the updates or what the status is. You can also give them access to the client, and it's not every client or every report. You can make the report available for clients, but then you decide out of those clients who has access to which reports. If you go to the contact profile and you click on client access, you'll notice that we have a section for access to share reports. So if you enable it, you decide which reports you want to provide access to. All right, so you always have control on that. And later, once you create the report, details, I guess a name, or here's the criteria. The criteria would be the filter. What exactly are you looking for? Well, it looks like I'm looking for just processes equal to naturalization, and the status of the case has to be equal to active, and I want the questionnaires that are pending to be, you know, shown here. Which questionnaires are pending? It looks like I added a questionnaire submittal date and it's empty. So again, you can add your criteria to make it more specific. In other words, it's going to give me all the cases created by client's name and the questionnaire creation date. Let's take a look. Wow, I have more than 25,000. Let me narrow down my search. I will say that we just want the created case creation date this year. You can choose from all these options. Okay. All right. So let's see. We had 25,000. Now it's only 2,468. So we see the case creation date. I can always add more, like who sent the questionnaire, or the name of the case, caseworker associated, etc. So just to give you an idea, once you create the case and you select the criteria and the columns that you want to see, again, you can always add or remove. And by the way, if you create a custom report, one of your columns has to have at least one option for sorting, ascending or descending. Otherwise, if you don't have any options here, you get an error message like this. Okay, so make sure that you have at least one ascending or descending option here, and then you can test the report. You click on this arrow to go back and save it. Once you have the report that you want, you can schedule it over here, reports, schedule reports. So by scheduling a report, this is the way I see that you can maximize your investment, because it is like having an assistant. I say, if I select a report and I send it automatically using eIMMIGRATION as a PDF, maybe on a daily basis or weekly basis, I can send it to anyone. So it could be the employer, it could be my assistant or myself, anyone, and I just decide, okay, for how long do I want to send this report? Maybe only until after July. Um, on a weekly basis, we want to send this PDF for all the employees with 797s expiring this week. So You think about it, you can also create a report for invoices. Show me all the pending invoices that have a balance higher than, I don't know, I'll say invoices with a balance higher than $50. I want that Excel spreadsheet sent to my accounting team on a daily basis. So my report can have the client's name, phone number, email address, and I can have someone in accounting check balance and compare to QuickBooks or whatever you guys use and call the clients if they have a pending balance on that invoice overdue. So anyways, you can get custom reports if you haven't subscribed yet and save so much time. Right now we are here. I'm going to show you what the tickler does for you. It is kind of like a helicopter view. The tickler, you can find it on the left-hand side. I'm in the caseworker portal. I click on tools and it's right here, tickler. So the tickler can be customized. You can choose your own layout. I'll show you right now how to change it. And the tickler has reminders, process steps, expiration dates, new cases, and even accounting information if you are subscribed to billing, of course. So it shows you the clients, the amount, all the information about the invoice, and also, again, the process steps that we talked about. It looks like in the next 6 to 20 days, I have 3 items to complete. It tells me what the task is, what I need to do, how many days I have to complete it, and basically what's my deadline or target date. So in a way, you can organize yourself, avoid missing any deadlines, and also showing the data for all caseworkers. So this becomes, like I said, an X-ray of the of your practice. How many reminders do we have in the next 30 days? It looks like we have 2 reminders, and it shows me the type of reminder and who's responsible, and of course the due date. Okay, so the tickler will show you all this information and you can customize the time frames as well as the layout. If you go to your caseworkers user preferences, you're gonna see tickler, settings, and layout. So the settings are what type of chart you wanna see, and also, like I said, the time frame. And the layout, this is where you add or remove sections to your custom layout of the tickler. And one thing I like also, since I'm here, let's go to the settings. When you go to your set, again, I'm in the caseworker. I clicked on user preferences and I went to settings. There is an option called default startup page, which means that every time that you log in, what's the first thing that you want to see? I like to look at the tickler because it tells me exactly what I need to do, what is my priority, so I can use the tickler to, um, right, to organize myself or delegate if needed. So that's what I choose as my default start page. Take a look at the different settings. It might make a difference if you, for example, when searching for clients, instead of just clients that are active, maybe you want to include prospects, so you select any. So those little changes can make a difference. So I suggest that you explore the settings. And if you don't know what they mean or what they're for, please contact us. You can always reach out to us if you click on technical support and send us a message from here. Alrighty, now speaking of customizations, one more thing. If you also go to the user preferences, you'll notice that we have a client overview. Again, another efficient tool that you can take advantage of to maximize your investment. And I know because of the dynamic industry that we're in, immigration, like you are always in the go and there's a lot going on. So having all the information that you need on one page, I think is gonna make your lives easier. So you can customize what exactly is important to you to have in that single page. For example, I'm gonna click on this one and then add my category. So maybe I want to see any reminders, although I already have reminders here. Give me 1 second. Let me pick one more. So just making sure I don't have the, okay. All right, here we go. So we have general info. Out of the general info, I can choose what exactly I want to see, maybe not every single field. I can remove all these and I can just pick whatever I want. So let's pick one more. Um, okay, this is a good one. So for cases, I'm going to select just the case number, the case process, and maybe application or expiration date, or when was this case updated. And if you expand the entire row, you can do that, or I'll just leave it like that. Okay, let me save on the left, and I'm going to show you an example. Let me go to a contact profile. So at the contact profile on the right hand side, you click on client overview. So you see I can look at one page, which by the way, you can print. It shows you only the documents that you selected, and you can look at the reminders, only specific reminders. For example, I just want to see court dates or I-94s. This is where you can expand. Let me see the appointments. Again, I'm just looking at for court hearing appointments, and these are the cases that I just added. I want to see case number, and I like the fact that I can just click on the link, and it will take me to the actual case, and I can see the case information or the, go to the form. So that's going to save you so much time because you have it in one single page and you can print it. And by the way, if you go to a case, you also have a case overview. Unfortunately, that one you cannot customize. We already have everything you need, such as the basic information, who the case workers are, the case parties, forms, how long have you spent on forms, the logs, everything. Everything will be in one single page. You can also print it. You have the documents uploaded and letter templates, and lastly, the process steps. So again, you kind of have like a timeline of the case. That one is super helpful. I guess maybe you probably are aware of it. I don't know, but just making sure that you guys maximize your investment. Okay, next, we want you to save time and work more efficiently. So one of the areas that you can take advantage of, it's called alternate view. Alternate view has all of the questionnaires that either we provide by default, such as the background questions or history information, general information, demographic or biographic info. So either you access the standard questionnaires, or you can also create your own questionnaires and also load them on your screen. These questionnaires, remember, you can customize them from the administrator portal with your logo and any specific questions. You can have your own instructions, etc. So like this one, please provide this ASAP, or we just need your last 5 years, etc. So by having the alternate view, you can access these questionnaires. You can type the data yourself. Let me say that we want to type a new address, and I'm going to save my changes from the alternate view. It's going to give me a green bar notification on top that the form has been successfully saved in the server. I'm going to close the alternate view and take you to the address information. So notice that it saved my data, the changes that I made. And from here, when I open a form, it will transfer the correct information. So if you don't want to necessarily send the client a questionnaire, but you rather use a questionnaire or print it, sometimes clients, again, are not tech savvy, so you can go ahead and create a questionnaire, but don't send it, just print it. You select the questionnaire, let's say the asylum intake form. I want to translate these questions to Spanish, and I can print this and give it to my prospect or client. When they bring back the paper and I need to type the information myself, then I can use the same template through the alternate view, which is right here, asylum intake form. So it's a lot faster because number one, the data that I already have in the system auto-populates, and I can just make the changes that are necessary and then just click save. All right, and you can print it, of course, if the client wants like a copy of their data, you can print the alternate view with that information. All right, so speaking of these custom intake forms, just let me quickly show you if you're new. Again, you have to have access to the administrator portal. And when you access the admin, you're gonna see the custom form templates. Today, I'm not going to show you in detail how to customize them. I just want you to know that it's doable and that it's easy. So if you click on intake forms, number one, you're going to see custom intake forms, which are the ones that you can create, right? Or I suggest that you take advantage of the ones that we have already in the system. So go to System Intake Forms and take a look at the questionnaires that we already have. So for example, if I want to use the general information for individual client, I'm just going to make a copy of it. But instead of calling general information, maybe I want to call it initial consultation form or intake form. And I'll put my initial. So out of these questions, I probably don't care for their fax number, so I'm just going to remove that question. And I don't want to ask them what their degree or major field of study. Again, I can remove questions. But also, on the other hand, I can add questions, such as a yes and no question. I can ask them, is this the first time that you contact us? If they say yes, I may want to ask a follow-up question. Well, if it's the first time, how did you hear about us? So you can also use the system as a CRM and grab information that will help you for your practice in general to know where exactly should you be investing in. You know, is it Google ads or like Facebook, or is it most of your prospects are here because of their referrals? So anyway, so you can also use eIMMIGRATION to um, ask these customer service questions. And if you have custom reports, of course, you can use it as a CRM. These questions that you can create, we call them custom fields, and you can ask as many questions. And the benefit is that you can also track them or transfer them to the forms. Just to give you an idea, I have a question for when did you become a legal or lawful permanent resident? I can actually link this to the N400 so that it auto-populates my question. And so you can ask, like I said, questions like, what's the best way to contact you? Are you tech savvy, etc. Under the general information, by the way, you can include custom fields if you need to ask these questions, like what is your full name in native alphabet? Are you a new client? Yes, no. Is this the first time that you're here, etc. All of these questions can be included in your custom form. If you notice, we also have repeated sections. So if you want to add more to it, let's say I need your children's information or like previous addresses and so forth. By the way, the questionnaires that you create, you can also translate them. So let me enable it again and choose only Spanish and Portuguese. I'll just review the translation, make sure that everything looks fine, and approve or submit. And that's all you need to do. Once that you go through the questions and make sure that everything looks fine, you click submit. And now you have a consultation intake form with exactly, exactly what you need and available in different languages. Can we combine two questionnaires that have already been created? Not yet. I did send that request for our development team. And by the way, I also need to send the one you emailed me about, the gender. So I appreciate you being here. No, what you can do is copy. Let me save and close this one. You can copy an existing one. For example, if I look at the system intake forms, I want to use the asylum questions. So if I copy those questions, I don't have to start from scratch. I'll just add whatever is missing. I think that's easier than having to create these custom fields. Since we already have them, why should you reinvent the wheel, right? But yeah, combining them or merging two of the same, we can do that. Another feature request that I've sent to our staff and the development team is that if you have a process, let's say naturalization, I have already worked on these process steps. So I have my timeline or the workflow that I want to use. Well, we have a feature where you can copy them. If I want to use those steps for another service, I can just make a copy, change the name of the process, and keep the process steps and keep the documents, checklist, and everything, but not the forms, for example. I'll just rename this and call this, I don't know, adjustment of status. Or so what I suggested for them is to allow you to combine two existing processes. I don't know if that's possible, but again, one of the things that I want you to know is that Cerenade does take your feedback into consideration. So anytime that you guys click on feedback and you send us a message from something you like or dislike, they do pay attention to you, and we appreciate your feedback. You'll be surprised on how many features we have released that are suggestions from our clients. So thank you. All right, so next, I'm going to switch back to the caseworker portal. Please let me know if you have any questions. Let's see, any questions at this point. You can please vote on your screen. Okay, I was trying to read. I received a couple of questions. So it says, a feedback from a colleague of mine. It would be great if it were possible to update current address from inside a form by typing update a new address into a form and having an option to update the case party's address from inside the form. Actually, I'm going to show you right now how you can properly update anything, not just the address. When you create the case, right, you click on the client's name, it's going to open another tab. So if you are already working on the form, let's say that I open the I-130. Okay, so here's the petitioner's information transferring, and I realize, you know what, it's not 123 Love Street. It does allow you to overwrite without changing the entire database, which is actually a good thing. What you can do if you want to update the mailing address in general, you simply switch to the other tab and change it here. See how it says mailing address? You can actually copy from the US resident address if it's the same one instead of retyping it. So as long as you save it in the contact profile and you come back to the form and refresh, that's it. You don't have to keep typing it over and over again. If you think about it, it takes the same amount of time to type here or simply switch and type it here. So we recommend, and the best practice is that you enter the information or update the actual profile, not the form. The way you update or refresh a form is by using these select party buttons. So you can click there, click on the link that says replace, and then just click on the name. It updates or refreshes the data, and that way the information, let me show you, is now updated on the form. So that's the best approach because of the technology that we have. Again, we don't have Adobe, or like, this is our own technology. We don't rely on Adobe or any other third-party solution. Next question was, when adding a comment in the client's log under the case, sometimes the comment shows a blank in the list of comments after saving. When clicking on preview, it then shows a comment. Do you know why? It's probably because you either exceeded the characters, it's too long, I'm pretty sure. But you can always contact us for support. If it's a bug or something, they can take a look. But yeah, depends on the length, I guess, of the comment. Like mine is actually pretty long and it's actually showing, so I don't know what the issue is. Also check the font. Maybe the type of font caused an issue, but we would have to connect to your screen to see what's going on. Regarding e-filing, is there a separate subscription needed for that service? Yes, it is considered an optional module, and yeah, you need to subscribe and you can contact our sales team. Next question is, does the e-filing function allow filing through my USCIS from Cerenade? Yes. So e-filing is actually one of our most popular modules, and especially now because you can import data from CBP website, like the departures and arrivals. But yeah, you can file forms electronically, not just the DS-160 or the DS-260, which just those two will make a huge difference, right? But also USCIS forms. And we're adding more forms as we speak because of how things are going with USCIS. They're pushing that new method of doing things, right, electronically. All right, so let's continue. Going back to the forms, now you know what the select button is for, where you can click and replace or refresh data. You may also add post-its on the form. So maybe I want to confirm, is this correct? And I can leave these post-its for myself or my staff or maybe the client. So these post-its, or we call them sticky notes, you can customize them. And if you want to print the form without them, you simply uncheck and print as normal. Also, you can type anywhere on the form, right? You can drag and drop text anywhere on the form. And if you type information and it doesn't fit, don't worry, we shrink it for you and we auto-populate the addendum if you exceed the limit of characters. Now, speaking of addendum, maybe you don't know this, but if you go to the last page for the additional information, you need to click on the Edit red button if you want to modify the data. Meaning, okay, I don't want to transfer this information or I don't want to transfer all these. So I just uncheck and click Save, and then we transfer only what you want with the page, part, and item number that belongs to it. Okay. All right, so let me just save and close. I do see a couple of questions. I'll wait until the Q&A, okay? But I'm not ignoring you. Just because I want to move forward with the next slide. Remember to download my PowerPoint because I put the links for you to share or watch these at a later time. All right, we're almost done. So letter templates. I think that's also a feature that probably is underutilized because maybe you're used to like Outlook or Word, but you're typing information over and over again. So if you want to save time, I suggest that you create letter templates in eIMMIGRATION just by going into your administrator portal. You click on letter templates, and then you can add them here. And when adding a template, you just give it a title and of course copy paste what you normally use, like your motions or agreements or contracts or any follow-up email, cover letter, you name it. So like this one, appointment reminder letter. Instead of me typing this information with my logo and the date and the client's name, or I want the system to auto-populate my first and last name. And so I'll just create the letter template, include the tags, which you can find them also on the caseworker portal under tools, and it's called Tag Helper. The Tag Helper will show you exactly what you're looking for. So if I say date of case, or what date is it, application date, expiration date, you can find anything related to that, and you can copy and paste the tag from here into here, right? Now, just to give you an idea, let me access a letter template. Let's use that one that we just looked at, the appointment reminder letter. All right. I'm just going to add it to this existing case. And let me edit. See, I have a logo, I have today's date. Although, you know what? This can be replaced with the tag because I know we have a tag that shows the case date or current user. You can say you can choose from these current date. That way I don't have to type the date every time. I'll just use the current date. Now that I have modified my letter template, I'm gonna preview it. So it shows the date, it shows the name, and then, well, of course I have to modify anything else, but see how my name also auto-populated. And from here, I can make it a PDF, Word document, or I can email from here. So just another example. Let's say I want to email this documents checklist. It has the case number, the client's name, social, or any piece of information, and maybe a checklist. But yeah, if you want to send it from here, you just select the client's name, email address, and then you can send it from eImmigration. Those letter templates will also show you the cover letters. So again, it pulls the data from the different fields. And when you have the forms and all the evidence, right, the documents that you want to ask the client to upload, birth certificate, passport, etc., you have everything ready. Then you go to document assembly. And the document assembly, if you click new, you select, let's say, A AOS Smithly. I'll just put the year, save changes. All right, so now I'm going to select which forms I want to include in the package. I select here to move them into the package. Same thing as the documents, the evidence, and the letter templates. So I select everything I need except for the appointment reminder or like Batman test. So just move that, and then you can drag and drop. See, if you click and drag and drop it, you can select which cover letter goes before what form. And then, of course, you have your table of contents. So the system will help you update those numbers accordingly. You just click save. You can always make corrections or modify this. And then just save the table of contents. And when you're done, you can email the package to yourself, your team, whoever, the client to review. You can add the footer page numbering and the caption, so it's faster. And of course, here's a letter template as well. Maybe I have one that says, um, for my assistant, please go ahead and print this package, have it ready for mailing by Monday. Or so that's going to save you so much time. It's called document assembly. For those that have to disconnect, because we're almost running out of time, I want to, before I cover Q&A, I want you to know that if you download my PowerPoint presentation, you can click on these links that we are sharing, did you know section, so that you can click and learn more. Remember, the idea is that we want you to maximize your investment. So maybe you're not synchronizing your calendar yet, or you're not using the passwordless links to request documents from your clients. Maybe you are interested in using billing. So we have different features that, including e-filing. By the way, these are the forms that you can e-file at this point. Like I said, our team is adding more to the list. We have the what is it? 821. I think we have more. Now that I see the list, you guys, I think we have more forms because I checked the other day. Let me just quickly confirm. What's the asylum form? Can someone, uh, oops, you know what? Completely blank. 589. Okay. That one is e-fileable. And I just realized that 589 is not in my list here. Or is it? No. All right, so yeah, a good thing is that we have more forms than I thought. So resources and support. Of course, you're gonna have questions, and that's the idea. When you have questions that you're learning, we want to help you. So just give us a call Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays, or email us 24/7. That's our email address. You can also click on the home screen, as I said, for technical support or for you to send your feedback to developers. We have the user's guide. I put the link right there. And these trainings that are free on Fridays at 10 a.m. will show you more to the system on a weekly basis, of course. We have a podcast. If you're interested in participating as a speaker, let us know. We're working on preparing something for you. And there is a Facebook forum page for users that can register and share with other users. And of course, the YouTube channel, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe today. That way you get the notifications. These are the questions that you guys sent prior. Number one, how does e-immigration help with e-filing here we go, the I-589 and 765? So yes, it is an optional module. You need to be subscribed. I put the link right here so you can click for more information on how it's done. But just to give you an idea, you schedule the form and then you click a button and it transfers the information from eIMMIGRATION to their website, USCIS or Department of State or Department of Labor, depending on the form, of course. How to track cases. This question was kind of vague. I wasn't sure if you meant like tracking the update, like approval notice, or you can subscribe to our optional module, USCIS Visa Bulletin Times Tracker. So you receive an email when the case is eligible for processing, and you can click on the link for updates. Also, to track the case timeline or workflow, we recommend that you use the case process steps. All those in green are links that you can click on. Next question was how to email questionnaire to clients. Create the client profile first and select create questionnaire. Let me quickly show you so you understand what I mean. When you create a contact profile and you click on the left, create questionnaire. That's what I meant. And you send it to this person, or you can print it, or you can even put that on your website. Yes, that's how you initiate the questionnaire to your clients. Last question was, how can we create invoices with QuickBooks? Well, you may only create invoices if you use Cerenade's billing. And I put the link so that you learn more about our billing. But if you are interested in using QuickBooks, you have to use the online version. You can only add charges directly to QuickBooks from eIMMIGRATION, but in order for you to create an invoice or process a payment, you have to log in into QuickBooks. I also put the link so you understand how does the integration with QuickBooks work, and you can be subscribed to either or, not both. They're both considered optional modules. And one more thing that I want to mention, we do have the credit card processing module that you can be subscribed to in order for you to link your PayPal and your LawPay account. All right, so I know there are questions that you are submitting. Before I answer those questions, let me see. I know some of you have to disconnect, and if you don't have any questions, you can confirm. If you still have questions, please submit them through the chat because I'm going to cover them in a moment. And if you have to disconnect, I want to thank you on behalf of Cerenade for attending today's session. I hope that you learned something new. We have upcoming trainings for March, and I suggest that you go to our website, or you should be getting the system message with the links. But we're going to talk about how to customize forms, how to use the system to its full potential and learn what's new. Also, a basic training for new users, what the case management tools are, and lastly, efficient and time-saving tricks and shortcuts. All right. Don't forget to connect with us through different channels and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much. For those who have to disconnect, have a great weekend. Now I'm going to answer some of the questions that were sent through the chat. You still have time to submit yours. Okay, right. So regarding e-filing, is there a separate oh, I already answered that one. Yes, well, you can always upgrade your plan or check if your subscription has a module that you're not using. You can contact the sales team and see if they can swap it for you. Does the e-filing function allow filing through the USCIS from Cerenade? Yes. So my clients can fill the DS-260 questionnaire and that will link to their case at MVC? Yes. By the way, you can customize a questionnaire or you can use the form that we have and send it to them. So really quick, just so you see what I'm talking about. If I add the DS-260, what am I? Oh, I don't know what happened. Okay, here we go. So the DS-260 is e-fileable. I'm just gonna add it. And if I open the form, it will show the data, just any regular form. It's gonna show the data that we have in the system. And then if I want to send it to the client for reviewing purposes, let me just select the client that I want to populate with her data. You can use the sticky notes too throughout the form just to convey any observations or comments, instructions, um, just like any form. And when they receive the form, they can also type on the form if needed. So all you need to do is if you want to share a form with your clients electronically, there's two options. You can send the form to them as read-only PDF, which means they cannot edit, which is right here. You select and click email as read-only PDF, or you can send it to them as editable HTML so they can log in into the client portal and edit the form. And then once you get the form, you can schedule it for e-filing purposes. You can answer this later since you move on to another topic, but is there a video demo available for how e-filing works? Yes, anything that I cover today is technically covered in the user's guide. So on your screen on the top where it says help, click on user's guide and simply type e-filing and you'll watch the video. Let me do it really quick. E-file right here. So we do have a tutorial video on e-filing. Does document assembly work if the documents are only linked via Dropbox? Um, no, it does. It's not gonna work. You have to have that document. Well, why use Dropbox if you have unlimited storage with us? I don't know how much you pay with Dropbox, but honestly, if you look at the pricing plan, 85 per month per user gives you all modules and unlimited storage plus extra training. So if I was you, I'll just consider using the storage and e-immigration because that way you can send the client a documents checklist, right? You just click select and share with clients and have them upload from home. Like they can log in into the client portal and they can click on share documents. They'll look at the checklist and they upload. So that way it's easier for them because they can either upload or review documents that you want to share. But also it's easier for you because when they upload, the file goes exactly where it belongs to. If it's a birth certificate, you're going to see it right here. So it's just faster. And also if you have custom reports, you can run a report to see what's pending from them, for the client to upload. But yes, if you want to use the document assembly, the document has to be here. Where can we download the presentation once again? Oh, I think she logged out already. It's under handouts, but I'll send it to her directly. So if we pay for e-filing feature, then our clients can fill out the DS-260 and immigration in order to auto-populate their yes. So as long as you have the form and e-immigration, not just the DS-260, but again, any form that has e-filing status ready schedule, that means that you can file the form electronically and transfer the data from e-immigration to their website, to the government's website. Mhm. You can always contact our sales team if you want to give it a try and test it before you make a decision. Alrighty, well, those are the only questions that I see or that I have for now. Unless you guys have any other questions, please submit them. If you have to disconnect, thank you so much for joining today. Let me ask you one more question. I know some of you are new, but would you recommend e-immigration to a colleague? Did you know that you can get a $50 credit or gift card? So if you know someone who's still entering data on the USCIS website, or they are using Excel spreadsheets or Google Sheets, or let them know and make their lives easier. They don't have to pay for the installation setup, which is a $400 um, setup fee, but you can also get a $50 credit. Yay, thank you so much for letting us know. And oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am glad that you joined. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And again, thank you on behalf of Cerenade for choosing e-immigration. We appreciate you. Bye bye.